Hi YouTubers, what we are going to do today is we are going to make these little tracing sheets. They're made with the cutting boards from the Dollar Tree. So the smooth side of the board or the mat acts as a dry erase board. So they can draw and then it just erases right off. So they're reusable. They're really easy to make, and depending on what all you want to put on there, you can personalize these things so they can learn how to spell their name, address, phone numbers, anything like that. And then depending on how much detail you want to put on them, they can go really, really quick or they can take forever. But I have this one, which is colors, and I also did this one, which I think is really cool. It's actually worksheets. So I brought in a worksheet and then traced it. It's for sight words. So they color by sight words so they can color in the matching sight word. So they're really easy to make, and let me go show you what you need. You are going to need these cutting boards from the Dollar Tree. You get 2 in a package, so they're really an inexpensive craft to do, which I think is awesome. They're a little hard to find because everybody's doing this, so you might have to go to a couple Dollar Trees first, but so when you find them, buy a couple. So mats, I'm using the good old ratchet blade. We're doing it in the Cameo 40 days, so I have the adapter on it. But it's nice, you can do this because these are really thin. You can do these in any of the Cameo machines, 1, 2, 3, or 4. This isn't a particularly new blade, so you don't have to have a brand new blade to do this. If you have a favorite blade, I wouldn't use that because I can't imagine this is the best thing for the blades. That's why I'm a fan of the ratchet blades. They're cheap. You can also use an auto blade, but also I wouldn't use your favoriteest blade ever for this. And then this is actually strong grip matte, but it's not strong grip anymore. I've used it quite a lot, but it still has quite a bit of sticky on it. I'd recommend a mat that's sticky, not a well-loved mat that you're taping everything to, because this is going to be drawing on it and it's big. So if you tape it, you still have the ability to move in the middle if it's not sticky enough to hold it in place. So you do not need a strong grip mat, but you do need a mat that is sticky to do this. So let me go show you how to set it up in the software. We're using a font called Penmanship. It's a free font from DaFont as well. All right, so we are going to use a font called Penmanship. It's a free font off of DaFont, and I'll leave a link down below to it. She's got a couple versions, but these are the 2 that I have installed. One where you hit the space bar and there's no space, and then one where I hit the space bar and she puts in the dashes for you. So if you wanted to write a whole sentence, this would be the one you wanted to use. And then this one's the one I've used, so you have individual different words. This is my color one over here. And then that way you can just hit each individual word and then hit space bar and they look like individual words. Now you do need to weld them because they're individual words. And see, if you see them, you can see the overlap. So you do want to right click and weld. And then what I do is I just make a compound path after that, so it makes it one thing, because if not, you leave your dashes behind. So do weld. But this one is the numbers all written out. Now, I have chosen to put in some dashes to make the words look a little bit more, a little easier to read. I did that in a sketch file. So if you come down here to the sketch folder, sketch panel, what I did is you're going to put edge effects on here, and then I've put in this sideways dash, and then I put the angle up to, I think, 25. Yeah, 25 to make them kind of sideways, and then you can space them out. I've spaced them out a little bit more, partially to make this easier to, or quicker on the machine. The worksheets took probably 45 minutes to do. This guy probably took about 20. The more you do, like, you can absolutely see the hatch. You can absolutely have them color it in completely. So this would be really, really dark. But the machine is probably going to be doing this for close to an hour. So keep that in mind. The other nice thing is you don't really have to babysit them though. So if you really do want to do something really detailed with a lot of stuff, you absolutely can, because you don't really have to babysit the machine. The machine will work. but this is what I've chosen to do. You can do whatever it is you want to do. And then for my page setup for spacing purposes, the mats are 11 by 14. Now, if you want to get absolutely every possible little inch of use out of them, you would need to get one of the big 12 by 24 mats. They're kind of, I have one, but they're kind of a pain. So what I did is I just figured we'd lose an inch up here and lose an inch down here and it would be okay. So, but my page setup, I made it 11 by 12 so that you had a reference point because you don't have a mat up here to etch since they're 11 inches wide. So that's why my mat looks the way it does. But we'll come down here to the transform panel. We're going to rotate this guy 90 degrees and get him situated in here. And then we're going to rotate, flip him vertically. So then that way it comes across like it's supposed to. Because we're etching on the back of the mats and what you see on the front is going to be its reflection. So flip vertically since we're at a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to go over to the send panel. And we're using cardstock heavy, the 80-pound paper, auto cut, auto ratchet blade, force 30, speed 4, and then a blade of 3. And it has been working great. It's really fat right now. For whatever reason, it has decided to do cut edge. And it needs to do cut. So we're going to go put it on the mat. And also, when it's in the machine, it sounds really creepy. And I'll see if I can get it on tape. But it sounds a bit creepy. Don't worry. It kind of supposed to sound like that. So, all right. So for the mats, you have a smooth side and a rough side. You want to etch on the rough side. You want to put the smooth side down to the mat. And what I've been doing is kind of guesstimating where it looks kind of even, where the overhang on either side is even. I figure it doesn't really matter if it's not perfect. There we go. And then we'll put it through the machine. Alrighty, we are all done. I just popped it out of the machine. Now, if you don't like the white etched look, I would imagine it kind of depends on what background this is going to be used on. On my paint table, it shows it pretty well, but you can fill it in. This is green dry erase marker. It seemed to do the best, and this is dry erase. The Sharpies and regular markers tended to leave a bit of a halo around it, but the black Sharpie showed up pretty well. If you wanted to do, if you wanted to fill it in and have a darker look, and this is how it looks if you haven't filled it in. I just like the filled in look so it was a little bit easier to see. And this one took about 20 minutes to do. Like I said, the worksheet took about 45 minutes to do, and the colors took about, I think, about 20. So it depends on kind of how much you put on here and all that kind of stuff. And then if you decide to move these all really, really close together, or you do a hatch, which is twice the amount of work, it's gonna take a while. So it's kind of dependent upon you and what you want to do. But I love these. I love that they're so easy to, they're really easy to make. You do not have to babysit the machine. The machine will work. You don't have to do anything. And they're so easy to make personalized, especially for kids having to learn with all of our digital learning these days. You can put these out there and let the kids, learn how to do names and you could do multiplication tables, any of those kind of things. It would just be really easy to do. So anyway, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, let me know, and good luck finding these in the Dollar Tree. Please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.